listen, gents. I've been pushing the hack around New York for quite a couple of years, namely 22. It is my personal experience there is more automobiles in Set City than there is people. How would you like to have to navigate through this mob in order to make a nice couple of dollars? Well, I was going to retire and take up a new line of business until certain Japanazis decided to clop us on the chops. First result is I don't have to retire because this here war has made from traffic a dead macro. Right away, mobs decide they can put away the Buicks and use the feet. And I'm telling you, getting dead storage space is worse than getting into the World Series. This, of course, has now eliminated the Sunday drivers, the characters who make right turns from the left and left turns from the right, and various other citizens, mostly of the opposite sex, who should never have been allowed to drive in the first place if I had anything to say about it. The way it is now, a person who wants to go from Greenpoint to Harlem has got to use the subways. So everybody is very happy with the possible exception of the street cleaning department, because a lot of people from Brooklyn had horses hidden under rocks from which they now have come out of retirement. Now I got something else in my mind. This is the old village after dark with the masses lighting up the double crossroads of the world, the main stem, the hardened artery. You're right, brother, good old Broadway. It was a kind of a pretty sight with the neons twinkle like little stars in sections like Flatbush and even Staten Island. Well, this here practice is now a memory. We got ourselves a dim on account of the way the ships stand out against our lights. So, come 6 o'clock, Fifth Avenue looks like it was in Hackensack, and I wouldn't have believed it. I also wouldn't have believed it if you said you couldn't go to Louis the grocer and buy all the tomato and pea soup you wanted, like, for instance, this doll is doing in the good old days before this war, on which you gents is an expert. A lot of you also had to have the Mizuma to pay for that hardtack. But that's not the problem now. You can have a zillion bucks, but the way it is now, you gotta be a certified public accountant to buy a can of pork and beans. This improvement is what is known as rationing, which I will now explain to you. First, you gotta add up what you got, like these ladies are doing. Then if what you got ain't enough, you start to make a list of what it takes to feed the relatives, the kids, and maybe a couple of old cousins thrown in. After you do this, you go and you stand on line to get a book, without which the grocery will positively give you a fisheye. Oh, by the way, this standing on line, gents, we picked up from the Army. And by the way, we'll be very glad to give it right back to you. So after quite a little wait, you get yourself a ration book number 2, which entitles you to 48 points of groceries each and every month, which makes certain people, for instance, my wife, brood whether there is the water and a bottle of ketchup, or to play it safe and buy a couple of small cans of corn, which positively gives me indigestion. You can see for yourself that this causes quite a bit of trouble, excepting for a gent who was very ambitious and got himself a wife and 8 kids, making him practically the most popular guy in Long Island City. But here comes the real pain in the neck, trying to juggle the points so that everything comes out. This makes filling out income taxes strictly for amateurs. And there are lots of people who now wish they hadn't played hooky when a teacher was given out with addition and subtraction. Because if you don't figure right, you have nothing to chew on but fresh vegetables, which is hay strictly for citizens that chew their cuds, or maybe rabbits. But even me and all the other characters in Manhattan ain't those. And this goes for all the citizens in the suburbs, which reaches to the Los Angeles county line. We know where the gas is going and the electric light bulbs and the ketchup. You're getting it, gents, and that's okay with us. Eat hearty, bub, and bring the pennant back to the guys who are sitting in the bleachers yelling for a home run.